I don't know how anyone behind the scenes didn't sit there and watch these scenes and not say that Tomas is actually a problem on this show. Look at every time he's involved with the storyline, it hits a wall because of the acting. I called Stevie Wonder and he told me even he could see that Tomas is terrible. What is up, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers? Here to talk about today's Friday episode of the show. Overall, I have been dogging these storylines, but it's hard not to. The current state of them have not been great. It's been a tough week. So before I begin, I do want to say that only less than 50% of you that watch these Beyond the Gates videos are subscribed. So the more than 50% of you that are not subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button to the channel. Give me some extra motivation to continue to watch this show live so that I can sit here and review it for you all. Today's episode had some things that annoyed me, which has been a trend for this show lately. Let's get the Leslie situation out of the way. She was still sparring with Vernon at the beginning of today's episode at the country club, trying to tell Vernon that his dad built the club to build people up, and here he is tearing a woman down, and Vernon trying to tell her that she needs to set aside her manufactured indignation because she will never have the moral high ground. Vernon was getting the best of Leslie in this verbal confrontation between the two of them. She was making a threat to be careful because one day he will be looking up at her in the future instead of down at her. Leslie is on this brigade to become a pillar of the community, but all she does is continue to annoy people. She has these grand delusions, and I get it. I still just wish the show would have better motivations for her. We've been saying this forever now, it feels like. And she gets hard to watch after too many episodes in a row. Even though she wasn't on as much this week as the last few weeks, her being on yesterday and again today, it's actually a little too much. Leslie then went back to see Eva to ask how Peaches liked her spa treatment and ranted to Eva about how Vernon is the one being petty because he stopped the construction on her house over 1 inch. Eva listened, but like I said yesterday for the Eva character, I wish they would get consistent with her because it's 1 week she's getting annoyed and tired of her mom, and then the next week she just keeps putting herself through it. That's getting old too. Anita, meanwhile, wanted to name Bill co-executor of her estate with Vernon and a co-chair to something as well. Not gonna lie, didn't really follow what they were talking about, and I don't really understand why Anita actually wants that of Bill. I mean, clearly Bill has always been the favorite son-in-law between Bill and Ted, but it's not because Bill is the better person. To me, it's only because Bill actually is the one with more power, with him being this big attorney and all these connections. It's the side of the Duprees that I've always complained about since the show began, where they, on one hand, they do have this big facade about how they are so good in the community, but behind the scenes, they love their power as much as others. And if they're gonna have Leslie have these confrontations with Vernon over stuff like that, it would work better if they hadn't botched the Leslie character. But instead, they did, and now Anita is making these plans that Vernon doesn't even care about, even though Vernon and Bill have been clashing for a while. The sudden change in Anita's heart towards Bill makes more sense after the conversations they've had recently because of her cancer. Don't really get it from Vernon's point of view, though. I guess maybe Vernon and Bill just use each other. I don't know. Kind of don't care. Kind of want to move on. Let's talk about Danny and Nicole quickly as well. Danny and Nicole were glad that Anita only had an infection, but she still has a long way to go with her cancer. Their talk also kind of devolved into talking about Bill and how Bill feels about his mortality now because of Anita's cancer, and how Bill changed his mind about wanting a baby with Hayley. And Nicole is wondering if Bill told Danny this because Bill wants to see if there's still an opening with Danny. But Danny reiterates that she's happy with Andre and says that Bill and Hayley getting together was actually a blessing for her because she wouldn't have started sleeping with Andre, and now she's in a great spot in this marriage with Andre and a great spot in her career. Danny did mention how she was surprised that Hayley understood Bill changing his mind about having kids or having a kid. And Nicole was trying to take up for Hayley a little bit, saying maybe Hayley could be scared of having another miscarriage. But Danny thinks that Hayley might feel fine without having a kid now after all, as long as she has a pile of Bill's money. Danny is usually right about Hayley. I wish that Danny still felt like Hayley faked that miscarriage in the first place. Maybe she does and just didn't want to tell that to Nicole today. My girl Lynette was on today, but unfortunately she was sharing scenes with a rock who can't act worth a damn. Listen, you all know I praise the Lynette character for shallow reasons, but also because I do think she does a good job, and I do think the character has brought a good energy and a new energy for a villain that this show did need. These were the first scenes that I didn't think were good with Lynette because she was with someone that can't act. Was it not awkward? I didn't even get the fact that Lynette and Tomas were supposed to be flirting with each other. Lynette says that he and Bill made her feel special by working so hard to get her charges dropped. And then Tomas delivered the line of, "You are special," with that just dumb look in his eyes, emotionless, and it failed miserably. Then they continued to flirt a little bit, but it was awkward. It didn't make any sense to me. It did not land because, unfortunately, Tomas ruined scenes that he is in. I don't know how anyone behind the scenes didn't sit there and watch these scenes and not say that Tomas is actually a problem on this show. Look at every time he's involved with the storyline, it hits a wall because of the acting. I called Stevie Wonder and he told me even he could see that Tomas is terrible, that he's a terrible thing for this show. So I don't know how people behind the scenes can't see that. Anyway, Lynette was telling him not to play a player after those awkward flirting scenes, and he asked Lynette if that's what she is. Hayley had been listening this whole time and walked in to stop their little flirting, if that's what it was supposed to be. Hayley said that Tomas seemed like he was crossing a line, but Tomas was finding it interesting that Hayley doesn't like mixing business with pleasure. Hayley, when Tomas left, and after Hayley and Tomas kind of squabbled a little bit, and after Tomas kind of got in a shot at Hayley, which I don't like seeing either. Like, they're not going to make me root for Tomas against Hayley and Lynette. Sorry. I know people want Hayley to have a downfall. Well, it needs to come at the hands of someone that's actually interesting, and that is certainly not Tomas. So they're never going to make me root for Tomas against Hayley if that's what they're trying to do. Hayley let Lynette know that Tomas is dating Bill's niece and wouldn't flirt with someone unless he was trying to gain Lynette's trust. I'm glad that at least these two scammers quickly put it together that Tomas is trying to get something on Hayley by getting information out of Lynette. But then Bill walked in on Hayley and Lynette, and Bill was acting strange when he first walked in. I don't know if it was because of the information that Anita told him about what she wants from him, or if Bill found Lynette being there suspicious. It seems like the show always tries to make us believe that maybe Bill is gaining an ounce of his brain back, but then he never really does. On her way out, Lynette called Bill her guardian angel and went away crying after Hayley told Lynette that she'll make sure that Tomas doesn't do that to you anymore. I love the scenes after Tomas left with Lynette. Lynette was great in all scenes that Tomas was not involved in today. And then Hayley told Bill that she caught Tomas flirting with Lynette, and he got upset and said he better not be trying to two-time Cat. Maybe this will get Tomas in trouble. Who knows? I don't really care about the aspect of Tomas's career on this show. My only hope for Tomas being involved in this story is that one of these three scammers, Lynette, Hayley, Randy, end up having to take Tomas out. That's the only good thing that could come from Tomas being involved in this story. And then the other thing we had today revolved around this impaler storyline that at this point I think is a really bad storyline. They have completely botched it. Grayson and Ashley were having some scenes in the first half of this episode that I really didn't pay attention to, so I couldn't tell you what they were talking about. Grayson then got pulled to the side by the chief of staff saying she has a job for him. It's different than his drop-off that he has to do again today with Jacob. She needs him to go to the free clinic to start volunteering there and learn the procedures there for the blood collection to see how they do that so that they could get more blood for this whole scheme. So I guess that is the whole point of the free clinic, is for this impaler storyline. She didn't care that Grayson was concerned that Derek is in charge of the clinic, who is the woman he is dating's ex and who already feels some kind of way about him. And then Ashley and Grayson talked about how the chief of staff used to be warm when she first started and now she's not. They didn't come out and tell us that the chief of staff is the impaler, and she still might not be. She could just be a high up in this whole scheme. Izaiah was still talking on the phone to Naomi about the burner phone that he wanted so that his mom could talk to Jacob. Naomi got upset with Izaiah for even asking this because it could get Jacob in more danger, because it's a burner phone that's supposed to just be between her and Jacob, as if Jacob hasn't already overused the burner phone to have these secret meetings with Naomi. Grayson was listening in on Naomi getting upset talking on the phone to Izaiah, and then when Izaiah told Darlene what he was trying to do, she told him that he shouldn't have done that to Naomi, that she was just venting about Jacob because it's too dangerous. Izaiah is saying he doesn't see how he's the bad guy in the situation. He was just trying to make his mom feel better. And Darlene said she appreciates what he was trying to do for her. She said that she knows Izaiah can do things in different ways than the rest of the family, which made Izaiah have a comment about how he's the black sheep of the family. I wish the show would have done a better job of actually presenting Izaiah as a bad boy when he first came onto the scene. In this show's usual fashion, they tried to tell us that he was a bad boy instead of showing us, but I think it would have actually added a better layer to the character, but we never actually seen him being a bad boy. We just hear about it all the time. The best part of these scenes was when Eva came in to Orphe Jeans and saw Izaiah there and recognized his mom from photos and introduced herself to Darlene, and Izaiah wanted them to sit together and get to know each other, but Darlene said nah. Darlene said she had to go, and Eva told Izaiah after Darlene left that there was a chill there. We learned in yesterday's episode that Darlene is not for this Izaiah relationship with Eva because of Eva's mother, so I'm sure Leslie will cause problems for the Hawthorne family at some point, and probably for this Izaiah and Eva relationship. Like I said yesterday, I like that Darlene is not on board with this relationship. It adds an obstacle for them, which is good. Jacob and Smitty were in our favorite alley today, with Jacob thanking Smitty for hanging in on this investigation. Naomi texted Jacob on the burner, which is why this burner thing is just stupid anyway, because I do recall when Jacob first gave Naomi the burner, he said to only contact him when it's an emergency, and this wasn't an emergency. Also, Jacob's acting might have been just as bad as Tomas's today, because when Smitty told Jacob that Anita took a turn for the worst, he had the worst "oh no" delivery. He delivered it just like that, basically. "Oh no," except probably more whispery because it's Jacob. Yeah, bad delivery there by Jacob. Jacob is pretty bland for this storyline. Maybe that's why the Impaler storyline is struggling, because Jacob acting is so bland. But Smitty went to go talk to Naomi for Jacob because Jacob had to go do another pickup at the hospital. Smitty went to go see Naomi. Smitty told Naomi to come by and see him and Martin more, and they can fill the gap while Jacob is away if she does come by more. We have not seen a lot of Martin lately. I don't know why. We see more Derek and Tomas than we see Martin lately, it feels like. We end the episode with Jacob doing another drop-off from Grayson in the elevator, and in came Ashley in the elevator, happy to see Grayson in the elevator. I guess not noticing that Jacob, in his not good at all disguise, is in the back of the elevator in his Dollar Tree sunglasses. And that was our cliffhanger, which at least it was a cliffhanger, but it would have hit more if they had done a better job with this storyline in the first place. And it is kind of laughable that Jacob's back there in his not so good disguise and Ashley's not recognizing him. But at least it's a cliffhanger. I'll give them that, because we don't get these Friday cliffhangers enough. The preview next week, I will talk about it Sunday. There's some possibilities for it being better. I hope it's better than this week, because I really did struggle with the storylines this week. The downside of next week is Trash is on at least 2 episodes, probably, if not more. So that's definitely a bummer. Her presence has not been missed this week, though. But yeah, that was today's Friday episode.